Alright, so I'm gonna be making a Powerlifting Federation tier list, and I don't know most of these federations, even though I made this. So I made this tier list I put all the images in, and I kind of just looked up what are all the federations, and this is not even all of them. So I'm gonna start with putting all the ones that I don't even know. Actually, I'm not gonna like put the ones I don't know on the chart. So I'll just put the ones I do know at the forefront. So the ones that I have here are Powerlifting America, RPS, USAPL, USPA, IPF, IPL, WRPF. And from what I know, these are the most popular ones, at least in the US. So if there's anything that I forgot, like a big one that I'm just missing, then let me know. But this is what I got. So I'll start with USAPL. So I think USAPL deserves to be in the S tier just because of what they have going for them right now. After they separated from the IPF, they now have been trying to expand internationally, and I could see where they're going with this. They're trying to make their own version of the IPF. I'm sure eventually we're gonna hear an announcement saying like, oh, instead of USAPL, it's IPL, because I don't know if that already exists. Oh, it does. It's right there. But maybe like some version of international powerlifting federation where USAPL becomes like the way into the international side. So they already started in China. They're expanding to pretty much every country that's possible. It's gonna be a slow process, I think, but I think they have the potential to do it and be successful, and maybe even more successful than the IPF. I might be talking out of my ass, but it seems like they really do have a lot of good events coming up. Like they just announced their Olympia. There's like some international event at the Olympia, like during the bodybuilding show. So it seems very promising. That's what I'm gonna say. And as for the rules, and like I know some of these federations have different rules. So USAPL, those of you who are into powerlifting at all know that it's just a power bar for squat, bench, deadlift. They don't use different bars; it's the same bar, and I think it's good. It's a good standard to have for drug tested powerlifting. Okay, so next we have Powerlifting America, and I think I'll put it at an A because it's new and they really haven't had time to fuck up anything. So I'm pretty sure it's just created by the IPF for like people competing in the United States to have a way to make it to the international section, like to the IPF. So when the USAPL and the IPF split because of USAPL doing different kind of testing and whatnot, so the IPF competitors in the US needed a way to get to the IPF and qualify. So since they couldn't anymore do it from USAPL, they created Powerlifting America, which has pretty much exactly the same rules as USAPL, because USAPL didn't change their rules much when they departed from the IPF. So IPF and USAPL still share a lot of the rules, except any new rules that came out after the split in the IPF also translate into Powerlifting America. I hope that makes sense. So Powerlifting America and the IPF, they're kind of the same. They're the same thing. IPF is just bigger. It's just bigger scale. And originally, I would put IPF lower. I think I would put it at B. But I think what's stopping me from putting it at B was Sheffield, and I think Sheffield was a great demonstration of like transcending weight classes in competition. The way Sheffield worked was competitors got rewarded on if they broke a world record in squat, bench, or deadlift. So they got a cash prize for each individual lift if they broke the record. And then the placing was based on percentage of the world record total. So it's cool because there's no Dodds or Wilks formula for that. It's just how close can you get to or surpass the world record in your weight class, and that's your placing in the meet. So I've never seen that done before. I think that's really cool, and from what I've seen, it was really hype. I wish I could go because it looked really cool. But yeah, IPF, that shocked me, so it deserves an A. But then they're still a little silly because for like the bench rule that they made like a year ago or so, to limit bench width and bench grip, whatever, just to make bench better, to make sure that the elbow is beyond a certain point in comparison to the shoulder joint. Now, I think that there's just the general consensus in the powerlifting community, I feel like, is that there's better ways of going about that, like just limiting grip width based on weight class, for example. Or, I mean, listen, I'm not the one making the rules, so I'm not going to give alternatives, but I just feel like that one's a little silly because you have to watch for so many things. So I think that's one thing limiting it from being an S tier. Another thing that bothers me about the IPF is that they have this rule where if you compete in another federation, you can't compete in the IPF or IPF affiliate meets for a year, which really sucks because it's silly to me that, like, if you compete in a certain federation, you should be locked in with them. I feel like competitors should have the freedom to compete in, let's say they do IPF Worlds, they should have the opportunity to compete at USAPL nationals. I think, like, there shouldn't be anything stopping them from doing so. I think the IPF is just being a little petty after they split with USAPL. Maybe they're not. That's just how I see it. So if you disagree, then just let me know why you disagree in the comments. But yeah, these two are gonna be in the same tier because they're the same entity as a whole. So it wouldn't make sense for me to put them in different tiers. Okay, so this might be a little controversial, but the WRPF, in my eyes, is an S tier. Let me tell you why. So WRPF has done a great job hosting big name meets in the last few years. Probably even before, like American Pro, and we have the second one coming up. So I think WRPF, they use the squat bar for squats. I think if you're over 75 kilos body weight, then you use a squat bar. You use a regular power bar for bench, and then you use a deadlift bar for deadlifts. So that's cool. It's like it's a change from how USAPL and IPF does it. I feel like if you had every federation, you do have the same rules and use the same bars and have just have everything the same, then what's the point of competing in the other federation? Now, granted, WRPF has an untested side, so that's one reason why you would, but I feel like if that's the only reason why someone would compete in a different federation over another, it's not enough to create it wouldn't be enough information to create a tier list because they would just all be the same. So WRPF, very cool federation, very cool meets. I'm prepping for me. I'm 2 weeks out from a WRPF meet. It's gonna be my first WRPF meet, my second meet ever, and I'm pretty excited. I think they are slowly becoming like the main untested federation. I think it was USPA, and I think it's slowly turning into WRPF, and I think that's happening for all the right reasons, and I also can't wait to see where they end up in the future. So when it comes to USPA, I would have originally placed it higher, probably at an A tier. However, there have been some recent scandals, and I don't want to get into it, but it doesn't look good for them. Now, they are trying to fix it. It seems like at first they weren't trying. It seems like they were just trying to cover it up, have people forget about it. But I don't know if they realize that it's not going to fly because people are just not going to compete in their federation, or if they actually started giving a shit. But because they're trying to turn around their image, instead of putting them at a C or a D, I'm going to put them at a B. Because overall, as a federation, the meet hosting is, it's good. My first meet was a USPA meet, and I enjoyed it. They also use a squat bar then regular power bar for bench, and then a deadlift bar for deadlifts. They have untested and they have tested side. And I feel like a few years ago, USPA was the better of the two for untested lifters between USPA and WRPF. But again, like I said, I think that it's slowly turning around, and I think WRPF is becoming the main untested federation. Also, like, I don't know, like, I just don't like their logo. I don't know if that's like a fair criticism. It should just look a little better. Like, it's not gonna cost much to hire someone, let's say on Fiverr, to design a new logo. It seems like they whipped this up in Microsoft Paint. It really does. I really hate the logo. They have banners when you compete. They have banners behind you when you lift, right, with the sponsor logos and the federation logo, and it doesn't look good. It's a circle with stars, the American flag, and then the bar and the plates are just rectangles with, like, you did like the bucket fill-in thing with red and gray. Like, it's just, I could make this in 5 minutes in Microsoft Paint, and I don't like that. And it's a bad image, I think, and I think they should fix it up. They should rebrand their shit and get it together. Anyway, the IPL, I'm going to put it, I don't know enough about the IPL, so I'll put it in the B, because if I did my research, basically, I would have a more accurate tier for IPL. But it's like it's IPF, but it's for the USPA side. So if Powerlifting America is the entry from the US into the IPF, then USPA is the entry for United States lifters to the IPL. And it seems like the IPL doesn't get a lot of exposure. It seems like not a lot of people know about the IPL. They have some nice cash prizes sometimes, I think, for nationals and worlds, like maybe a couple $100, maybe 1,000, 2,000. I'm not sure. So I was gonna do IPL nationals myself last year, and when I was looking at the past nationals that happened, and I was comparing my numbers, it just seemed like I was gonna win, like clearly win, because majority of the lifters just don't go to IPL because there's no exposure. You don't really get anything if you like win. You win. I feel like there's not enough lifters in it. I don't know how it's staying afloat, honestly. It seems to me that people who like love the IPL are just people who are untested and want to have the same feeling of winning nationals that the people in like USA Powerlifting have at winning their nationals, because USA Powerlifting nationals are much more like, they're more grandiose, so they're much more cooler to watch. There's more eyes on them. There's more of a budget. The atmosphere feels like better. The vibes are better. So for that reason, I'll put IPL at B. Probably should put it at C though. Now the last one, RPS, is my favorite one. I think I'll put it at C. So I've never competed in RPS. I've never competed in most of these, just USPA, and about to compete in WRPF. But from what I've heard about the RPS, it's just very unorganized, unregulated, just not the best federation. So it seems like when you watch them, like, I've watched some videos of RPS meets. I've never been to one, but I feel like they're just backyard meets that are sort of trying to be like real meets. There's no exposure, there's no prestige, there's no good awards, no nationals to look forward to, no worlds. It's kind of just like, I feel like it was just made for fun. People just wanted to make their own federation, and they were semi-successful with it, but I don't think it's gonna get anywhere. And I'm sure like the judges are like, they're normal judges, like they'll red light on depth and watch for the right things on every lift, and not give false attempts out just because like it's like a lower level, entry level meet or federation. But it doesn't have a lot going for it, and I don't think it's gonna be like a big thing in the future. I think it's slowly dying or quickly dying. I haven't heard of people competing in RPS meets in a while. And yeah. And as for the rest of these, I think like I've never heard of these, so I don't know if what they deserve, but they probably deserve a D. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. If you've competed in any one of these meets, in any one of these federations, then let me know in the comments. If you disagree with my tier list, also let me know in the comments. I know people are like really like passionate about the federation stuff and reasons why they're good or they're bad or they don't give a fuck. So let me know what you think. Let me know how wrong I am, and see you guys.